would like to call the September 10th board meeting to order. It is 5:30 p.m. There is a quorum present. Notice of this meeting has been posted in a time and manner required by law. Mr. Jones, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Cliff Williams.
Present.
Scott Carson.
Present.
Charles Perry.
Present.
Kyle Hagemeyer.
Present.
Miss Paulette Traylor.
Present.
Miss Nikita Lagway.
Present.
My name is Chad Jones. Thank you.
This time I'd like to turn it over to Dr. James.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, President Hagemeyer. At this time, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to the Principal, Eric King. We're going to be recognizing the students at Willis High School for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. So,
good evening. This time I'd like to recognize our Student of the Month. This is obviously at Willis High School. Lots of opportunity to name a lot of students. A lot of opportunity to name students for different reasons. This student stands out. She doesn't stand tall, but she stands out. Oh, sorry. I had to. This is someone, for me personally, that is a model Wildcat. Someone who walks into school, and I joke about her size. She's 10 foot tall in purple. She stands proud for our school, our district, and community. Good evening, President Hagemeyer, Dr. James, Board Trustees, Mr. Loza. It's my honor and privilege to come to you tonight with our Student of the Month. This month's Student of the Month is someone who represents our district and Willis High School to the best of her ability. She's a leader in the classroom, on the sideline, and more importantly, in our community. At this time, I introduce to you this month's Student of the Month, Lexi Graham. Ms. Graham is a member of National Honor Society and has cheered for Willis High School for 4 years, been captain for 2. She has earned All-American back-to-back years. Ms. Graham has represented our district and Willis High School in numerous community grand openings, little cheer camp clinics, middle school cheer camps, food drives, volunteer time at Wildcat Resource Center, and has been a member of the cosmetology program for the last 3 years. After graduation this spring, she wants to attend Texas State in the fall to major in business at the McCoy College of Business. At this time, she hosted a member of the cheer squad at Texas State University. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you our Student of the Month, Lexi Graham.
I am so sorry. So we're going to just pause because it's important for us to just stop. I have a note that says Eric King is doing Pledge of Allegiance and invocation, but I also have another sheet of paper that says that Brooke Paulson is. And so we're going to just reverse because that's what we do first. And so I am glad that you were just recognized, and that's beautiful, but we need to start our meeting with our opening, and that is with our invocation. So thank you. Just making a note that I have 2 sheets of paper that says 2 different things. So thank you, Brooke. That's okay. Sorry.
I was just going to wait for my turn.
Yes. So patient.
Good evening, President Hagemeyer, Dr. James, members of the school board, and Ms. DeLosa. It is my pleasure to introduce Waylon Skipwith, a first grader at Cannon, who will lead us in the pledge, followed by Josue Palacios, a third grader from Cannon, who will lead us in prayer. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing for the Texas Pledge. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for the prayer.
Good evening, everyone. Please bow your heads with me as we pray. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together tonight and for blessing our schools. We ask for you to to protect over our students, teachers, families, and friends each day. Please guide our leaders as they make decisions. Give them wisdom to do what is best for all children. Fill our school with kindness, learning, and grace as we go together. We thank for watching over us, and we pray for a wonderful school year. In Jesus' eternal name, amen.
Thank you so much. And I knew we were starting off wrong. It just did not feel right. So, Mr. King, we're gonna do our students of the month. Yes.
Okay. And it is now my pleasure to introduce our Cannon Elementary Student of the Month, 4th grader Renata Martinez. Renata's teachers describe her as a truly exceptional student who brings light and positivity to everyone around her. She is known for her sweet and kind spirit, and she is always ready to lend a helping hand with a smile on her face. Renata's kindness shines through not only in her words, but also in her actions and her calm, respectful demeanor. She is the type of student who makes her classmates feel welcome and valued, and she demonstrates leadership by setting an example of patience, responsibility, and grace. Renata approaches every day with a positive attitude, and her willingness to serve others creates a classroom environment where everyone feels supported. It is a true pleasure to have Renata at our school. She represents the very best of what it means to be a Cannon Cat, and we are so proud to celebrate her.
At this time, I want to introduce Ms. Smith to the podium, please.
Good evening, everyone. I am excited to announce a member of our WHS Taffy organization. It's the Texas Association of Future Educators. And we're honoring Kristen tonight as she earned a spot at the national competition in Orlando over the summer. Kristen competed in exploring education administration careers in our junior varsity division, and she earned a near perfect score for her efforts. She shadowed our principal, Mr. King, for 8 hours, took extensive notes, and then presented her information at SHSU in October, Moody Gardens in Galveston in February, and then at Nationals in Orlando. Our goal for her that year was to compete at Nationals in Taffy's inaugural year at Willis High School, and Kristen completed that well above our expectations. My colleague Darlene Parsons and I are super proud of her and can't wait to see her growth this year in our organization. She is the definition of a super wildcat, and we're so proud of her.
you can see, there's a whole lot going on at Willis High School. The next award goes to someone that it's an honor to present. Hold up. That's much better. Okay. An honor to present the first place winner in the state competition, defendant on laboratory skills, and our host of competition. This award recognizes a student who has demonstrated outstanding leadership, dedication, and true passion for health science and service. Adley Bagwell has gone above and beyond, not only excelling academically, but also serving as a role model to peers, contributing to this HOSA chapter, and embodying the core values of HOSA: learning, leadership, service, innovation. She's the first student from Willis High School to advance this far in competitions. It is a great pride to represent this award to Adley Bagley.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. James, board members, Mr. Losa. I am here to recognize someone that sets the bar for excellence in our district. And while I could go on and on about excellence, I think what's really commendable about this young man is that he also sets the bar for consistency. This young man has earned a spot in the state ensembles for TMEA, placing second in the state, placing first in the state for the TMEA organization. And tonight we are recognizing him for the second time as a Texas State Solo Ensemble Outstanding Performer. This is from the State UIL office. On behalf of the University Interscholastic League, please allow me to congratulate you for being recognized as an outstanding performer at the Texas State Solo Ensemble Contest. This achievement is truly a mark of musical excellence. In recognition of this honor, please accept the draped gold medal. The medallion is identical to those awarded to state champions in all UIL academics. Wear it with pride. This award is awards of this nature do not come easily and reflect the efforts of many individuals. Your parents, school, and teachers are to be commended for their contribution to your success. I encourage you to share this honor with them. At the same time, remember that you alone, through your own talent, dedication, and hard work, made this accomplishment a reality. Sincerely, Dr. Brad Kent, UIL State Director of Music. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing Mr. Drew Walker on this wonderful achievement. Congratulations again, sir. Good job.
So Mr. Lebonsky, his second or third time?
This is second time, but remember, he's just a starting junior, so we're probably going to see him 4 times in this one.
Good deal, good deal.
At this time, we'll go to our public comment portion of the meeting. The board will hear comments from the audience only during the public comment portion of the meeting. The public comment portion of the meeting will be no longer than 30 minutes total. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to address the board. Groups of 5 or more who wish to express the same viewpoint on an issue must appoint a representative to speak for the group, who will have 3 minutes to present unless the topic is an item on the board agenda. Please respect the privacy of others. Refrain from identifying students, employees, or other community members by name. I will determine whether the speaker has attempted to solve the matter administratively through resolution channels established by policy. If not, the speaker will be referred to the appropriate policy to seek resolution. Disruption of this meeting will not be tolerated at any time. Per board policy, the board does not respond during public comments. Our first citizen tonight is Jay Fondren.
Good evening. My name is Jay Farner, and I'm a veteran. I lost my legs serving this country, but tonight I'm not here asking for sympathy. I'm asking for accountability. The American Disabilities Act has been law of the land for over 30 years. It's not optional. It is a civil right. It is civil right law meant to guarantee equal access for people like me, for children in wheelchairs, for parents with mobility challenges, and for every member of this community who lives with a disability. Yet here at Willis ISD, there's been places that the law is not being followed. When a classroom, a restroom, or an entrance isn't accessible, it sends a message that you don't fully belong here. It doesn't just create inconvenience, it creates exclusion. As someone with no legs, I feel these barriers personally, and I can tell you the impact is more than physical. It affects dignity, it affects participation, it affects a sense of belonging for families who already face enough challenges outside these walls. This district has an opportunity and an obligation to do better. I urge you to 1, conduct a full ADA compliance audit. 2, develop a timeline for real improvements. 3, include disabled voices in that process because we live what others may only overlook. This isn't just about avoiding lawsuits, it's about whether Willis ISD will be a district that truly includes every child and every family. Accessibility isn't charity, it's justice. It's compassion and it's the law. Let's not wait until another parent or another veteran or another child has to say, I couldn't be part of it because the door wasn't open for me. Please make ADA compliance a top priority now. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is standing informational and ad hoc reports. A, student enrollment report.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. James, Ms. DeLosa. As of September 10th, 2025, today, our total student enrollment stands at 9,614 students. At Willis High School and the middle school levels, we have gained 92 students and 104 students respectively, which amounts to an increase of 196 secondary students in the past month. At the elementary level, we have gained 206 students over the same period, which is what you see here on your screen now. This total increase of 402 students since our last board meeting. Looking at the year-over-year growth, we have a net increase of 319 students, which is what is here on the screen. The difference between the year-over-year and the month-to-month numbers reflect normal enrollment patterns as well as continued overall growth impacting our student population. Back one, please. Thank you. The final percentage of attendance this time last year was 95.31%, and our current percentage of attendance is 95.09. While this shows a slight decrease, our current campus administration are actively implementing additional strategies to encourage student and our parents and students. These efforts include increased outreach to families to encourage daily attendance and focus initiatives to identify and address the underlying issues preventing students from coming to school regularly. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. B, financial reports, bill payment, and bond summary.
Yes, sir. Good evening, board. Dr. James, Ms. DeLosa. As we look at wrapping up August, we've wrapped up yet another fiscal year. I'm happy to report that I'm projecting we'll end fiscal year 2025 in a slight surplus. I received some updated reports from TDA this morning confirming what is considered our near final report for state aid, which shows that we will hit our state revenue budget. Now, that being the case, I'm projecting that we will end our budget year with revenues just north of $90 million, which is in our budget numbers. We are still receiving our final invoices for August, which we will have to be reconciled back to last year's books. So we're still in the process of closing the books. We will work through our auditing process this fall, with the audit being finalized in January. That being said, we have started off the new year on a good start with enrollment, as you see, slightly outpacing projections, which bodes well for our budget we adopted last month. Next month, I will be presenting our district financial integrity rating report, which is more good news, and I plan on adding additional updates to our final figures for the year. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. C, Fine Arts Report.
Well, good evening again, Mr. President, Dr. James, board members, Ms. DeLosa. This week is National Arts and Education Week, and with that in mind, I wanted to take a few minutes to frame some key pieces of our fine arts programs, as well as share some data to give everyone a greater understanding of what our fine arts programs provide and how well our students are performing in those programs. Our goal in the fine arts is to provide both direct skills that will help students with careers and educational paths, as well as soft skills that help students to be successful in all life paths, making them stronger leaders, problem solvers, and team members. Most importantly, we teach skills that help students learn how to have a balanced, successful life. Here is a quick summary of our core beliefs. So at the elementary level, students find joy through music and visual art, and our pillars here are fundamental skills, cooperation and focus, and pride in performance and creation. That, of course, continues at the middle school level with students experiencing belonging through participation, and this happens within our programs of study: band, dance, orchestra, choir, theater, and visual art. And our pillars here are specific skills, idiomatic to specific disciplines. So now we're talking about specifically learning how to play the viola, participation within an organization's culture, learning about how to be a part of that culture, how to be a part of that team. And now we're talking about pride in complex performance and creation. So we're amping all those things up in the middle school. At high school, we continue in our course of study. Students invest in elevated individual and shared artistic experiences. And our pillars here are superordinate skills, idiomatic to specific disciplines. That's a fancy way of saying they're getting really good at what they do, right? They have a beautiful voice, they play well. Accountability within an organization's culture, and the key word there is accountability. Not just figuring out what it's about, but actually holding yourself accountable to the culture of the organization you belong to. And now we're talking about challenging goals that are long-term. We teach kids how to look at the end of the year, look at that goal, and figure out the steps to get to that goal. Some new items and goals that I want you to be aware of as a board in the fine arts. First of all, we found we have a little bit of a deficit at our middle school and elementary level, which is we don't have the ability to fire pottery. And so we've actually purchased some portable kilns that allow us to sign up and move those around the campuses, around the district, and now we can have that experience happening for our elementary and for our middle school students. So we're really excited about that. WHS Theater Production Expansion, our musical this year will be the musical Shrek. So if you're familiar with that, we hope to see everybody there. And we're also extending that not just to the high school students, but we're going to involve our 5th grade honor choir students to kind of plant that seed in them and have them be a part of that. We're also right now in rehearsals for the Fall Comedy Clue, which is not just a curricular presentation, but it's actually an all-school that we had auditions during that first week, and we're excited about that going up in October. We've been working on the refinement of fine arts footprints in our pathways and course selection process. Big shout out to Kelly Locke, and making sure as we tighten all the things and choices and forms and all the procedures with that, we make sure that fine arts is very much present in those choices. Ensemble recognition at the state or national level is a big goal. We are so happy to continue to honor Drew and students like him, but it's time for us to put our name on national and state level recognitions, and so that is on my list of things to accomplish with our programs. And then we're going to continue to increase fine arts participation. We've built some wonderful programs here, and we want to see even more students in Willis ISD participate in those. Let's look at some comparative data. If you look at Willis Fine Arts enrollment, if you look at the percentage of students enrolled in fine arts experiences, we had 77% year before last, and last year we had 83%. So we are increasing that number of participation, working on that goal, and we're going to continue doing that. If you look at fine arts impact on WHS GPA, so just targeting that one campus, if you look at the Willis High School average, it's 2.89, and for students that are involved in fine arts, it's 3.0. And obviously there's a lot of causal factors that go in that, but this is an important piece of data that tells us something about what our students are accomplishing that are in those programs. Fine arts impact on WHS ADA. So if you look at Willis High School fine arts absences, on average for students that are in elective fine arts programs, you have 14.2 annually compared to just a student that is not enrolled in a fine arts program, you have 16.7. So we're talking about 2.5 fewer absences per student. If we do some math on that, shout out to Dr. Clardy for helping me with some of the data numbers there. But if 73.67 is our daily number that we use to think about funding for ADA, if we talk about 2.5 fewer absences times the number of students involved in fine arts, we're talking about making sure that we don't lose $308,000 into the budget because of that influence that fine arts has on attendance. If we look at fine arts impacts on WHS STARS percentages, if we look at that, Algebra 1, we're talking about at the fine arts participating students, 10 through 12 elective participants, we're looking at 96% passing compared to 91, difference being 5%, and you'll see a similar piece there on the English one, passing with a difference of 10%. And so again, there's a lot of causal information there, but it's important for us to know the students that are in those fine arts classrooms, this is what the numbers say. If we look at quantitative data on UIL music assessments, I really wanted to take a few moments and talk about this because I think all of us in this room love our band, love our choir, love our young orchestra programs, right? But we tend to think that when there's a contest, they perform or sing or play, and there's a winner and somebody advances, and it's really not like that. At UIL assessment, it is very much an assessment, and so I wanted to take you through what that looks like. So in UIL, when we perform and sight read at those contests, we have 5 ratings, right? There's a 5-point scale that we look at, superior down through poor. For tonight, I want you to really frame that through something that we can all relate to, which would be our testing language, right? If we look at masters, meets, and approaching, that gives you a really good way to kind of compare what that means for each of these ensembles. How do the ratings work? You have a concert performance and you have a sight reading performance. I highly encourage everyone at some point to take a moment and check out a sight reading room at a UIL assessment. It is quite the demonstration of thought and preparation. But if you look, you're talking about a majority rating or average from the 3 judges that are grading on a rubric, and you get a rating on both the concert side and the sight reading side. So let's take a look at how we're doing. I'm going to focus, you can see back there 2 years ago, but just looking into last year, what I love is that both of our middle schools, we're seeing no blues and we're seeing no reds, which means that all of our students are either at the approaches, meets, or masters level. And if you look a little further, we're seeing a lot of green, which means that we're at that meets level. And then the superiors or masters, you can see that we have a lot of purple in there. And if you're wondering what that means off to the side where it says sweepstakes, that means that the students received a mastery level on both sides of the contest. So this is very important data for us to know what we're doing, what we need to grow and continue growing our programs, but this gives us really good information to look at. Looking at Willis High School, you see similar things there, lots of purple, you see lots of green. We do have one area that isn't that do not meets, but if you look way over at the side there, you see JV, sub-JV band. And what that means is that is our 3rd band. So if you think about that maybe in an athletic comparison, that's talking about like an A or B or a C team. We're actually growing to the point where we need to think about having and bolstering that 3rd level, and we're giving them what they need to grow into that approaches and masters level as well. And so just having a 3rd band is giving us indication, especially post-COVID, that we're doing things right. So let's talk about qualitative data for a second. It's kind of hard to come up with qualitative data. You look on there and you see a lot of pictures of things that are going on in fine arts around our district. So if you were to ask myself or a fine arts teacher, how do you measure qualitative data? They would tell you in goosebumps. And I know that sounds kind of touchy-feely, but hear me out. If we could find a way to encapsulate those inspirational lightning strikes that propel students forward, we would buy that product and place it in every academic classroom in this district and across the country, right? So you got to ask yourself, what impact does the fine arts really have on students across Willis ISD? And I think I can close and sum that up in the following way. I happened to overhear a trombone player in the varsity band for Lynn Lucas Middle School. It was last spring, and they were working really hard towards their assessment, and they were working in their new band hall. Thank you very much for that resource for them. But on the morning of UIL, everybody woke up and found out that the solo clarinet player was very, very ill, and they were not able to attend. And that kind of drama, imagine a middle school classroom with that kind of drama, that's a pretty intense day, right? And so a young lady named Riley had to step up, and she actually had to step in. She didn't know when she woke up that morning that she would be playing the very difficult solo that day. And so I was kind of watching them from a distance and seeing what they were doing. And as they were moving from the warm-up room to the stage, right before the assessment happened, one of the last students to walk out of the room was a trombone player. And he said to his friend, he said, "That's okay, we got this. It's just another day in band." And I thought to myself, that's it, right there. That's the receipt that tells you the impact that fine arts has on our students. They can take that forward in any career path, in any goal, whether that's being a plumber, whether that's being a lawyer, whether that's being a professional trombone player. And they know that they've been taught skills, they've been in a culture that supports them, and they know how to deal with adversity. That's the impact that fine arts has on our students in this district. I have, it is my absolute joy and pleasure to have a small part in this program. At this point, I would be happy to answer any questions that you have, and of course, if you have questions in the future, you can always reach out to me, and I'd be happy to visit with you then.
I don't have a question, but I
Please.
do have a comment. As a former Willis High School band alumni, I mean, I can speak to exactly what you're saying here. You know, being a part of that organization was probably one of the most influential experiences in my life. And I had one of the most influential teachers in my life as well, and our band director, Wendy Marquardt. So there's the qualitative and quantitative data there. Yeah, it's real. I mean, it's an experience that you carry throughout your life, whatever profession you choose or whatever you do. So thank you for the presentation. It was very good.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much.
Move forward with our consent agenda. Is there any board member who wishes to discuss an item before taking action?
Yes, sir. Talk a little bit about action item regarding the Millennium Tariki project. And the action item says we're going to be paying off the remainder of the
This is
contract.
item K.
Yeah, item K, excuse me. We talked a little bit about that. That's not the full payment.
Yes, sir. This specific piece of the project is only part one. It is a part that we are funding through a state safety grant. It was specifically for the exterior doors of campuses. And so we separated this out into two projects specifically because the grant only funded exterior doors of campus, of instructional facilities. And so in order to make that grant process more easily accessible, we separated this out, and this final payment is strictly for that piece of the project. And then the second piece of the project is the interior doors, which is not yet complete.
Okay. Bob, when are we going to start that interior door portion?
We're scheduled to start it towards the end of September.
Thank you. So I just want to be clear on that. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very much, Gary.
Mr. Williams.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Mr. Carson. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries and consent agenda is approved. At this time, the board will now convene into closed session for the purposes of considering matters for which closed session is authorized by Title V, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code .071 through 084. A, personnel matters, Texas Government Code 551.074. B, real estate pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.072. And C, consult with attorney pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071. It is 6:03. Board will now reconvene into open session. It is 7:46 p.m. Are there any motions from closed session? Mr. Williams.
Move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the personnel as listed.
We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Ms. Traylor. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Are there any other motions for closed session?
Yes, sir. I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation and approve the superintendent to sign the letter of intent for the property listed.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Mr. Carson. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Williams.
Move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation and approve the superintendent to sign the letter of intent for the property listed.
We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Ms. Traylor. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. At this time, we will now move on to discussing possible action items. A, discuss, consider approval of district campus improvement plans.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. James, board members, and Ms. DeLosa. Tonight, I will be presenting the district and campus improvement plans for your approval. To begin, let's understand the purpose of the district improvement plan. District improvement plans are required under Texas Education Code. They provide transparency and accountability to the community, and they are aligned with the state accountability system, which includes STAR scores, CCMR, and our A through F ratings. In addition, this year, these are also aligned with our superintendent and board guardrails presented last month by Dr. Lewis of Lone Star Governance, and our high leverage instructional priorities embedded in our strategic plan. We are proud of our hard work and the intentional alignment of our district improvement plan to our strategic plan, guardrails, instructional priorities, STAR scores, and TAPER report. This alignment will continue with our campus improvement plan. The district improvement plan was presented to the Willis Educational Improvement Committee last week on September 4th, and their suggestions and improvement have been noted in our latest draft. The DIP is a dynamic process and will be revised and modified as the year progresses. The first step in writing the DIP begins with a traditional 8 summary about our district. This includes demographics, student achievement, district culture and climate, staff quality, recruitment and retention, curriculum, instruction and assessment, family and community engagement, district organization, and technology. I'll review 2 of these areas now. Demographics. Currently, as of today, we have 9,614 students enrolled in Willis ISD. 48% are economically disadvantaged, 15% are special education, 16% are emergent bilingual, and 30% are CTE, which is a 5% increase over the previous year. At the August board meeting, we reviewed student achievement. As you know, TEA released 2 years of data on August 15th. Therefore, I am showing the achievement over a 2-year period. Our student achievement highlights include an increase in our accountability rating from a D in 2023 to a C in 2025, with a 4% increase in our summary score, which is currently at a 77. 7 out of 9 campuses improved at least 1 letter grade from 2023, and all 9 campuses achieved an improved summary score. In addition, an impressive increase in our CCMR from 50% in 2023 to 91% in 2025. And over the 2-year period, we earned 9 designations. Lagway and Willis High School earned 1 designation in 2024, and Parmley earned 2. In 2025, Turner and Lagway earned an all-time district high of 3 designations each. We are definitely proud of our district's commitment to improvement. After completing our district's summary of 8 for the identified areas, we initiated a comprehensive needs assessment. As a rapidly growing district, 3 areas are experiencing the greatest impact from this growth. Attendance. While our attendance rate is improving, we have not yet reached our target of 96%. Special education and emergent bilingual support. Continued enrollment has created a need for additional teachers and paraprofessionals to adequately serve those student populations. At-risk interventions. Recent legislation, including House Bill 1416, House Bill 114, and Senate Bill 763, has increased requirements for academic, social, and emotional interventions to support our students. In addition, we identified 4 key areas that will have the greatest impact as we work to meet the needs of our students. Instruction. Implementation of a newly adopted curriculum, including Bluebonnet, Savas, and STEM scopes, alongside the use of research-based instructional strategies, which we refer to as ARBIs. Staffing. Utilizing the teacher incentive allotment to recruit, retain, and reward highly qualified teachers. Communication. Prioritizing transparent and accessible communication, supported by the addition of a Chief Communication Officer, Dr. Sarah Blakelock. Resources, ensuring the right people are in the right positions and that all staff, from transportation to the classroom, have the tools and support needed for our success. The Texas legislature requires each district to establish long-term academic goals. Accordingly, we reviewed our House Bill 3 goals for third grade reading, third grade math, and college and career readiness. All of our House Bill 3 goals are trending positively and demonstrate continued improvement with updated targets for the 2026 as identified. Our House Bill 3 goals are written on a 5-year cycle with long-term targets set for 2030. 77% meet grade level expectation for reading in 2030. 70% meet grade level expectations for math, and 50% for CCMR. You may notice the CCMR target is lower than in previous years. This adjustment is intentional, as we have shifted our focus from students simply earning a CCMR point to ensuring they are truly college ready in both English and math. Currently, only 14% of our students meet this more rigorous measure. In addition, recognizing the evolving career landscape, we place a high value on career and technical education. Our goal is to increase the percentage of seniors earning an industry-based certification from 39% in the 24-25 school year to 50% by 2030. While ambitious, these goals reflect our district's commitment to preparing students for genuine post-secondary success, and we are eager to embrace these challenges. The next step in developing the district improvement plan is to write and prioritize problem statements that reflect our identified district needs. These needs were determined through the alignment with our board guardrails, strategic plan, and instructional priorities, and data analysis. From this process, we prioritize 7 key problems statements. Number 1, despite an increase in attendance rate is below 96% target. Continued challenges with special education and emergent bilingual staffing and resources. Tier 1 instruction is inconsistent and the rigor varies from classroom to classroom. Less than 15% of graduating seniors meet college readiness. Willis ISD, as well as many other Texas school districts, struggle to recruit and retain highly qualified teachers. Rapid enrollment growth strains facilities and resources, including transportation, and families report difficulty accessing communication. The next step in developing the district improvement plan is to write and prioritize, our plan includes 5 goals, 38 performance objectives, and more than 60 strategies. For this presentation, I will highlight only a selection of the key performance objectives that align with our strategic plan and directly address our prioritized problem statement. Our first key performance objective is to increase our average daily attendance. To organize the strategies, I use the acronym RISE. These strategies include reward attendance at monthly board meetings, implement an early warning dashboard for chronic absenteeism, scrutinize all campuses ADA weekly, establish Tier 2 and Tier 3 attendance interventions through campus behavior coalitions. In addition, provide targeted professional development for teachers and implement instructional strategies designed to make academic content more accessible and understandable for our emergent bilingual students. Strengthen inclusive practices by increasing the number of students with disabilities served in general education setting. Strengthen Tier 1 instruction with HQIM, which includes Savas, Bluebonnet, STEM Scopes, and our literary framework, as well as our research-based instructional strategies. Also, increase the participation rate and passing rate for TSAI-2, SAT, and ACT. Use STAR, MAP, and T-test data to designate eligible teachers for the teacher incentive allotment. Establish a long-range planning committee to address enrollment growth and facility needs. And finally, align communication to ensure messaging is intentional, consistent, and easily accessible. Our next steps will focus on monitoring and reporting our progress throughout the year. We will conduct 3 formative reviews in October, January, March, followed by a summative review in May. We will also provide mid-year progress updates to you. and we will adjust strategies as needed based on data and outcomes. Are there any questions regarding the district improvement plan? Okay, before presenting the campus improvement plan, Ms. Sarah Ballou will present some additional information regarding HQIM.
Good evening, Dr. James, Board, Ms. DeLosa. As you can tell when Sue was presenting the district improvement plan, and as you'll continue to hear as you look at the campus improvement plans, there's many instances and references to instructional materials being implemented this year, as that's one of our big lifts. In some of the places in the plans that you'll see, this is mentioned in the needs assessments and those problem statements that Sue talked about as we collected data last year and we did the diagnostic on campuses and realized that there was a need for instructional materials to increase the rigor in our classrooms. So we thought this was an appropriate time to give you an update on some of the work that's been done around the implementation of those instructional materials. On this slide right here, one of the big things we did this summer was make sure that we were all in line with what our priorities are for this year. Dr. James likes to remind us of a famous quote that says, "Clear is kind." And so this document is our way of being kind and making sure that we all understand as instructional leaders in the district what our priorities are this year. So you can see on this document, priority 1 is about the implementation of the new curriculum. Priority 2 is those research-based strategies that Sue talked about, and priority 3 is how we look at data to make decisions to move students and teachers forward. So not only on this document does it talk about the priorities, but it's the actions that we're going to take to make sure those priorities are happening, and the evidence. Like if we just say they're priorities, if we're not looking for what those priorities look like and the evidence of them, then are they really priorities? So it outlines those things so that we are clear across the difference on what this year our focus for teaching and learning is all about. Okay, so that was some of the work that we did over the summer as our teaching learning department. Another big thing that happened was our beginning of the year kickoff with our product activation. That means we had to get every teacher in the district trained and the resources that they needed in their hands. So you can see some of the dates there that we had those product vendors in district working with our teachers to make sure that we started off the year with the things that they needed and the training that they would need to move forward. As far as professional development after this big kickoff, some things that we're looking at right now is the best thing we can do at this point is give teachers the gift of time. It's a lot of materials to study. I think it's evident. Last year we noticed that we needed more rigor in our classrooms, and I can say that that has happened. These are rigorous materials for teachers and for students right now. And so giving teachers the gift of time to be able to dig into those materials like they need to is where we're focusing our professional development right now. So some of the plans that we have in place is we're looking for half days that teachers can pull together in grade level teams and dig into those lessons for upcoming things that they're planning for. Our October staff development days are focused on these materials completely, and a lot of those vendors that you see right there on that screen will be back in our district working with teachers. And then from Megan's presentations in the past, you've probably heard a lot about our Strong Foundations Implementation Grant. We were awarded that Part 3C, and so we're looking at how to use that money to pay teachers for their time to come up after school, and just make it worth their time to dig into these materials. So that's some of the things that's on the table right now as far as professional development that's coming up and that we're looking forward to. So after the big beginning of the year kickoff, everybody's trained, they have their materials. We needed a way to know how was implementation going in the classroom? Like, are the materials that we invested all this time in adopting and purchasing and the resources that we put toward them, what does it look like in our classrooms this year? So we set implementation goals that we are tracking as a department over time along with our campus leaders. So you can see some of those goals there. They're short-term goals that right now we're trying to make sure that we're meeting so that we're building that momentum and keeping the excitement around our instructional materials going. So right now we're looking at, we want 100% of our teachers implementing those materials consistently by those October staff development dates, okay? We want 85% of our teachers and leaders to report high confidence, so not just surface level, but again, these materials are really, really rigorous. They take a lot of studying. That's about 9 weeks in, and we want to make sure they have high confidence with those materials. And then you can see the others there, that in their planning times, you know, that's what they're doing, is they're focusing on these lessons and internalizing them and preparing to present them to students, and that students are engaging with that grade level content across our classrooms across the district. So that's the goals we set in place. And again, it's great to have goals, but if you're not progress measuring those goals, it means nothing. So the way that we're collecting data to see where we are with those goals is through, we have implemented a tracking implementation system. We're calling it our implementation tour this year, and so we kind of had a soft start with it, but as of last Tuesday, after September, outside every classroom in our district is the teacher's daily schedule, along with that QR code that you see right there. And anyone who visits that classroom goes in, they open up the Google form that goes with the QR code, and they're able to collect some data about what's happening in that classroom by some questions that we have put on that form. And so I grabbed a little bit of that data to put right here on the slide for you. Since last Tuesday, when we have started that, that little small 238 that you see right there, that's how many classrooms we've been in since that date to collect some data. So that includes all of our district teaching and learning staff, that's campus principals, and all of our instructional coaching staff. So that's how many classes got visited that we were able to collect some data on. Now, we're not collecting that data just to say, you know, what are you doing and please fix this. It's really for us to know, like, what do we do moving forward to support teachers? I mean, we acknowledge that this is hard stuff for students and teachers. So this is our way to know how we focus our time and efforts moving forward, also with some of that professional development. So if you're looking at the things that's being asked for on that form when we go into classrooms, this first question is simply, are they using the materials that they're supposed to be using? Are the daily objectives aligned to the things they're supposed to be doing? Are they on pace? Does it look like lesson internalization happened? Is there a natural flow to that lesson? Does it seem to be routine in that classroom? So those are the things that we're collecting data on. Our team has looked at those 238 responses that are coming in with that data, and we've already noticed some trends. The first goal that we had about 100% implementation, the data collection form, we have not been in a classroom where materials that they were supposed to be using haven't been used. So we are already at 100% of that goal, and in implementing this many instruction materials, like, that is a huge celebration to me. Like, we are using the materials that we have focused our resources on. Some of the things we've learned, we're a little iffy on that learning objective right now, just what we're posting, matching some of the things, and that comes through that lesson internalization. Another celebration is our pacing right now. It's rigorous and it's fast, and these instructional materials make some assumptions about things, but everybody the data that we're collecting, they're right on pace. So it's just looking at those things, going, what do we do with this information, and how do we support teachers moving forward? And so that's a little bit about where we are right now, and some things moving forward with instructional materials that, again, you'll see probably in all kinds of places in the improvement plans for the district and campus, especially in their performance objectives and the strategies that they're implementing on campuses to make these things happen. Do you have any questions right now? Okay, I am going to am I turning it back over to you?
Just momentarily.
There you go.
The next part of our program will be to present all of the campus improvement plans. We're going to be, each campus had a very strict, they love me for it, pattern to follow, which was to identify some of their celebrations that were within their taper report. They also identified areas of need, and then they are to present some action plans. Each campus will talk between 2 to 3 minutes, and we are going to begin with Mr. Eric King, principal of Willis High School.
Thank you. Good evening, Dr. James, Board of Trustees, Mr. Loza. This year at Willis High School, our motto is going together. Our staff, our students, our community, it's every student, every class, every day. The celebrations are huge. A lot to celebrate here at Willis High School. You'll see here kind of where we, the 90-60-30 plan, what we have in place. Finish year growth, we grew in 7 out of 10 possible categories. We look at meets and masters only, that's it. Grew in 7 out of 10 of those. The 3 we did not, we know for a fact where we messed up at. We can grow as a staff and a district and a campus there. You'll see our EOC results. We're proud of those. For our EB population, we intentionally pinpointed those students, found them, made sure and targeted the intervention itself, and we grew in 6 out of 10 categories there. You'll see off the side of the measure of growth there, you will. Our CUCMR is always a big deal for accountability for Willis High School. With tremendous growth there by monitoring our student growth in all areas and push our students to be continued success, give them every opportunity to be successful outside of Willis High School. These are celebrations here. You kind of see where we are, the growth we had, tremendous growth there from our staff. Our students worked hard, our coaches, just tremendous growth there. You can see we're growing as a campus. Now, with growth, there is some areas we didn't grow in, and we know for a fact how to fix that, and we pinpoint that. Needs improvement, of course. You can see SPED. We fell or stayed stale in 6 of those categories there. We know for a fact where that issue is. I'll touch on this one second. Behavior, you can see kind of where we are there. We know for a fact that we have to be better at that. We have to meet our students halfway there and figure out what happened there. And also attendance is falling, and we're working on that as well. You can see a plan in place real quick. I'm almost out of time. Behavior itself, we know for a fact we launched a campus-wide positive behavior intervention in the PIS system itself, tiered consequences, proactive strategies. Want to be sure to reduce insubordination, disruption, and cell phones no more, of course, which helps us tremendously. We want to make sure that we know for a fact we practice restorative discipline itself and restorative peace, meeting students halfway and what is going on and why you're doing those things. And talk about that and be a mentor and model the way it should be at Willis High School. Attendance. We established grade level competitions, recognize students with 95% or more, monthly rewards, shout outs, be sure and push that big for our students. Intervention plan, create a structured attendance intervention plan, tier 1, parent phone calls, 3 absences, tier 2, those 5, tier 3 home visits, and truancy there. And finally, that SPED piece for us, we've got to get better here. Want to make sure we have that tier 1 instructional alignment, that small group, want to make sure we know for a fact, number 1, who those students are, and find out how to reach those students. We have to go there. There's no, with our population growing so much that is growing for us, we got to meet them. And also, finally, that co-teach piece is big for us. Strengthen. We must find those right pieces for our students and make sure for a fact that those teachers are in the right place. Okay. I'm out of time. At this point, I want to introduce to you the principal of Stonefield Academy, Tanya Madden.
Okay, all right. Principal Stubblefield, I also oversee the Hope Academy. Good evening, Dr. James, President Hagemeyer of School Board, and Mrs. Losa. Stubblefield plays a vital role in the overall academic performance of Willis ISD. Our students come from nearly every school across the district, and our mission is to keep them on track with the instruction happening at their home campuses by ensuring continually, sorry about that, here I go, sorry. Continuing to the learning, students are unable to return without gaps in knowledge or progress. Their success directly impacts their home campus and in turn the district as a whole. In this way, Stubblefield scores are truly the district scores. The Hope Academy is a 4-hour-day program designed to provide a pathway to success for students who might otherwise be at risk for dropping out. It serves young mothers, fifth-year seniors, and other students needing additional support to complete their high school education. These students also contribute directly to Willis High School's academic performance by retaking any end-of-course exams that previously did not pass. Each success retest not only supports the student's progress toward graduation, but also strengthens the overall accountability of Willis High School and then also the district.
Areas of needed improvement. While Stubblefield plays a vital role in supporting student success across the district, we continue to focus on strengthening specific skills. One priority is ensuring that teachers receive the support they need, like Baloo said, to fully implement the new textbook adoptions and stay aligned with the high-quality instructional materials. Another area is student attendance, as consistent participation is critical to both academic progress and district accountability. We ended the year with 86% attendance at Stubblefield. We're already up 9.7%. We've really had great attendance these last couple of weeks. In addition, reducing student recidivism remains a key focus as our goal to help students make lasting progress and successfully transition back to their home campus. Plans of action. At Stubblefield, students have the opportunity to earn incentive for positive behavior and strong attendance, including the possibility of returning to their home campus earlier than originally assigned. And to further support student success, we are adding a new partnership with Centacor, presentations designed to address behavioral challenges and provide targeted assistance for students struggling with substance abuse issues. These will be weekly. In addition to providing direct support for students placed at Stubblefield, Centacor is also exploring opportunities to deliver prevention-focused presentations to the home campuses here also. These efforts would help address issues such as vaping and substance before they result in disciplinary actions, supporting both student well-being and overall district performance. During this last school year, 66% of student placements at my campus were related to substance use, 19% involving THC and 47% involving vaping. So it's a big concern. These supports and interventions are aimed at addressing those root causes, helping students make healthier choices and reducing repeat placements. To ensure a smooth transition back to their home campus, students leaving Stubblefield DAP have participated in scheduled reentry plans. These plans are designated in collaboration with staff, parents, and the home campus to provide clear expectations, academic continuity, and behavioral supports. The goal is to help students successfully reintegrate, maintain progress, and reduce the likelihood of returning to DAP. All right, next is Anthony Roberts from Brabham.
Can I ask you something real quick? Jen?
Yes.
How many students do you have right now in your Hope Academy?
The Hope Academy, probably 7.
7.
And we've continually got probably 1 or 2 each week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Good evening, Dr. James, Board of Trustees, and Ms. DeLosa. My name is Anthony Roberts, and I am the proud principal of Brabham Middle School. I would like to begin by drawing your attention to the images on the screen. This is our theme for this school year. We know that bobcats are skilled and ferocious hunters that methodically stalk their prey. At BMS, our bobcats will also be hunting their prey. That is why we have designated the entire school year #hunting season. Together, we will be hunting success. To begin, I would like to share some celebrations from the prior year's success. In A through F accountability and STAR, we had some major improvements. In Domain 2A, academic growth, we saw a 14-point increase, moving from a 59 a year ago to a 73 this year. Likewise, in Domain 3, closing the gaps, we saw an 8-point improvement from 64 to 72. On our biology EOCs, our Bobcats raised the number of students achieving masters from 45% to 68% last year, an increase of 23 points. On the Algebra 1 EOC, our Bobcats also raised the bar by improving from 18% achieving masters to 50% last year, an increase of 32 points. On the 7th grade Math Star, we also saw major growth with our 7th graders improving their approaches scores by 18 points and the meet scores by 21 points. With this improvement, we saw a change in our federal designation, moving from ATSI, which is Additional Targeted Support and Improvement, to TSI, which is Targeted Support and Improvement. And a final celebration was that our attendance rate improved by over 1% for the school year. As we begin our hunting season, our Bobcats will be on the prowl for is to achieve high academic standards. By high academic standards, we mean at least 90% attaining approaches, 60% attaining meets, and 30% attaining masters or better on all state assessments for the 25-26 accountability year. In order for us to catch our prey, our Bobcats have to be present, so we have set our attendance goal at 96% for this school year. So how are we working towards achieving that success? To achieve high academic standards, we will provide ongoing coaching, lesson internalization, and professional development focused implementation on HQIM, rigorous instruction, student engagement, and high leverage strategies. We will conduct specific data meetings after each benchmark and common assessment to identify trends, gaps, and student level needs, and during those meetings, we will focus on high focus populations. We'll make a major priority out of those populations. Teachers will engage students in regular data talks and set academic goals, review assessment results, and track individual student progress. To ensure that our Bobcats join in the hunt, administrators will conduct weekly in-person check-ins with students identified as chronically absent and follow up with regular phone calls to parents or guardians. And BMS will encourage strong attendance by recognizing and rewarding students at the individual, classroom, grade, and campus level. I appreciate this opportunity to share the pride that we have in our Bobcats and the success we will be hunting in the 25-26 school year. Thank you. At this time, it is my privilege to call up Dr. Schottel, principal of Calfee Middle School.
All right. Good evening, Dr. James, Board of Trustees, Mr. Losa. I'm proud principal of Calfee Middle School. My name is Dr. Gerald Schottel. I want to bring your attention to the data on the screen up here. These are students that are feeding into Calfee. These are from the Willis campuses, our feeder elementary schools, and previously at Rowley. As you notice, a lot of our students are already meeting that criteria of 90% approaches, meets at 60% and 30% at masters, specifically in RLA at the 6th grade level. So thank you, Lagway, for that support. And then also in RLA at the 7th grade level, thank you, Mr. Roberts. And then also at math, coming in strong, we have those data points. As far as areas of improvement, we looked at targeting special education students. We have the Upward program, we have our Stride program, and then also our SI1 classes to meet those students' needs. We want to make sure that we're improving outcomes for our emergent bilingual students. Currently, we have 43 emergent bilingual students. We do not have sheltered instruction, those students that need those services, so we're leveraging that teacher by doing push-in and intentional support in the classroom for gen ed students. So we're making sure that those students are receiving their supports, and then also providing professional development to our teachers for the emergent bilingual students through Elevation. That's a platform to help improve outcomes for our EB students. And then just having that standard and having those conversations with both staff and students of meeting the assessment standard of 90, 60, 30 consistently. So as far as targeted action plan for Calfee, we are going to increase, well, we already said data-driven interventions through focus time with targeted supports. We're utilizing their TELPAS data, we're utilizing STAR data, and we're also now going to leverage MAP data in that focus time session. We're also making sure we've already identified our House Bill 1416 kids from our feeder campuses. These are students that need that accelerated instruction, and then aligning to their targeted needs through IXL and other interventions, utilizing our instructional coaches and planning and CT. So that's our next target that we're going to use to support is through collaborative planning. We're going to meet twice each week. Both teachers, coaches, and leaders are in those collaborative teams meetings, emphasizing the focus on HQIM in those meetings and ensuring that that's being implemented with fidelity. Then having student ownership of the learning, making sure that students are setting learning goals now that we have MAP data, and we're going to leverage that and having those data conversations with our students. Making sure that we have family and community engagement, having learning nights with HQIM. We want to expose parents to the material and also understand why it's being utilized, and then technology integration and ensuring that students have access to one-to-one devices and teachers are utilizing that. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to take it off and share it with Dr. Kelly Moore at Lynn Lucas. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. James, Ms. DeLosa. Thank y'all for having me up here tonight. I am going to get started. I am the proud principal at Lynn Lucas Middle School. These are our Aristocats, so I thought it would be cute to show them because that's definitely a celebration for us. I'm going to start with our key data points. I went ahead and highlighted some of them for you so you could see exactly where we are struggling and what we are focusing on and some areas of celebration. We definitely saw some growth in our 7th and 8th RLA. We saw some dips in our 6th RLA and 8th math. We've got some strategic plans that we've already started to focus on with those 2 grade levels for those areas, with different teachers in those areas. We also see some struggles with special education, which I've taken a personal strive to do better with that area. We've done some digging into the data and what we're going to do there and trying to get some kids back into the gen ed classroom so they get that tier 1 instruction with the HQIM, because being pulled out into SI1 classes, I don't think all the students need to be there, so we're doing some different targeted interventions with our special ed population. You can see with discipline, our discipline got a lot better. We had 56 less discipline actions last year. We did have an increase in DAEP, but that was a lot of it was attributed to vaping. Last year we sent every kid who had a vape to DAEP. This year we're going to get to use ISS on campus instead of that. We did have a decrease in ISS, we had a decrease in our OSS, and our biggest one was our decrease in our fighting. We had a little bit of a fight culture at Lynn Lucas before, but we have decreased that. We had a 67% decrease in fights last year alone. And this year, I can tell you, we're already 100% better than where we were at this time last year with our fighting, and the fact that we have had none, knock on wood, so far. Overall, 62% decrease in major behavior incidents. Attendance, you can see we were only at 92 when we ended the year. We're not tracking very well this year, so we've got some very big incentives, some things that we're going to do to focus on attendance that I'll talk to y'all about also. So that's going to go into our goals. Our goal is obviously going to be the 90-60-30 in accountability and trying to get our kiddos to meet that 90-60-30. We're setting that expectation high for them, and we're going to hold them to it, but we're going to hold our staff accountable as well. So we're going to utilize our effective school framework. We're going to do the observation feedback cycle. We've already been in classrooms doing them. We started the 2nd week of school going into classrooms and making sure we had those obs feedback going with teachers at a celebration one today, so that's exciting. We're going to incorporate the data-driven instructional practices into our PLC after every end-of-unit assessment to ensure they're utilizing that data for professional and student growth. And then we're going to focus on that attendance, because that attendance has got to get better. We have a monthly attendance review meeting that we're going to have. We're also going to add it into our behavior coalition, like you heard mentioned in the DIP. And we're going to celebrate and incentivize excellent attendance to focus on reducing absenteeism, chronic absenteeism. So we just had a big pickles and popcorn last week, huge celebration. About 400 kids got to come to it for perfect attendance in the first 10 days, and it was really cool. So how we're going to monitor that is through our regular RTI meetings, our data disaggregation, our intentional goal setting, and with attendance, our meetings, and assigning mentors to our students. And we're going to have our attendance incentives every 2 to 3 weeks. I would now like to introduce my twin, Brooke Paulson, principal of Cannon.
Thank you, Dr. Moore.
Great job in changing the culture over there.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we go. Hello, hi. Our celebrations this year, we had a 9-point growth in our accountability. We moved from a 69D to a 78C, so close. We grew in all 4 domain areas. We got a 79 in school progress, which is our academic growth. Big thing, 15% increase in 4th grade math meets, and 18% increase in 4th grade math masters. With that also comes areas of needed improvement. Our big focus is increasing student achievement. Our students we need to get them to meets and higher, closing the gaps for our emergent bilingual and eco-dis students, and accelerating our English language learner proficiency, so growing our TELPAS. So how are we going to do that? Okay, so our action plan, really big focus on our students and teachers tracking data. Students are using their data trackers, they're monitoring, they're setting their personal goals. Teachers are tracking their student data based on standards, and they're creating competitions. Classes are setting those data goals and tracking together. And then our data digs are held in CT meetings to review student data, class progress, and plan our interventions based on our EOUs. And we are currently building our data wall in our CT room for 3rd through 5th with the old school post, little note cards, kids picture, garage sale stickers. We're setting up our classroom attendance goals, competing once again. They're tracking their attendance, setting their goals, announcements are made, and our celebrations are including students individually, 96% attendance for the month. Each grade level, 1 class with the highest attendance gets the slushies at lunch, and a class of the week is chosen with a trophy that's announced, and attendance is one of the criteria. So we're also monitoring letters, phone calls, and emails from me to parents with attendance concerns. Also, our twice weekly CT meetings are focused on checking. HQIM focuses, we internalize, we look at data, we're modeling. That's all we do. We're not talking about the nonsense. Nobody has time for that. And then with the leadership team and the teachers, and our, like I said, focus meetings. Coaching cycles and feedback is happening often. A teacher told me, how many times are people gonna come in my room? I said, if I had my way, they'd be in there every day. It's what we do. So frequent feedback, we're changing our duty schedule. If a teacher goes into a class, if an instructional coach or an administrator goes into a teacher's class that day because coaches' schedules are crazy, that teacher is excused from duty that afternoon so they have immediate coaching conversations instead of waiting a week. Frequent, often. And then weekly meetings with leadership to look at teacher progress and set action items for the following week. Our focus professional development, making sure it's based and tied to campus data, teacher needs. They're also getting opportunities to observe each other so they can see implementation and practice. Who's strong? Let's go to that room. Bilingual support. Targeted coaching supports bilingual classrooms, emergent bilinguals, so we're really focusing on those strategies in the classroom. In our experience, Rockstar Bilingual teachers, we've created TELPAS success lists that we can then implement into the other bilingual classrooms. And Computer Lab is practicing for TELPAS speaking and listening. I'm sorry. Miss Fossler from CC Learning, I apologize.
All right, good evening, board members, President Hagemeyer, Dr. James, and Ms. DeLosa. I am going to be talking, I apologize, about our action plan. So one of our biggest milestones is we have officially exited comprehensive status. This achievement reflects the dedication of our teachers, staff, and students. We have also improved our standing compared to our 40 schools. We were on the bottom, we are now right in the middle. Also in academic growth, we earned a 3 across all subgroups in reading language arts. That means our students are showing to be on track for expected growth for the Reading 23-27 interim target set by TA for meets and masters. While we are proud of our progress, we know that we still have important work ahead of us. Academic achievement is still an area of concern, particularly in math, but truly across all subjects. Based on feedback from the Essential Schools Framework last year, one of our key improvement areas is making sure we are using high-quality instructional materials. Strengthening Tier 1 instruction with rigorous aligned resources will support teachers and help our students meet and masters at grade level standards. To address these areas, we have developed a clear action plan with 6 focus points. First, we're strategically moving staff to better meet student needs, particularly in 5th grade math. Second, we are strengthening our student monitoring and data systems to track progress effectively, students taking ownership not only for academics, but also for their attendance daily. Third, we are increasing teacher monitoring and support to provide resources where they're most needed. This includes 9-week data meetings that they will have with the principal, along in our collaboratives, and along in our admin team and with our coaches to support. Fourth, we are working on instructional alignment so that we can teach matches both standards and assessment. That's in our collaborative, making sure we're talking about what we're supposed to be teaching and really getting down to the rigor. Fifth, we are continuing coaching and feedback cycles to provide teachers with timely, actionable input. This is actually my most favorite thing to do. Finally, we are offering both fall and spring tutoring to give targeted support to students. We are starting our first tutoring next week, which will include all of our House Bill students for 4th and 5th grade. And we've also implemented 3rd grade, supporting our House Bill reading, where we're implementing reading strategies to help support and make sure our 3rd graders are on reading level. Then in the spring, grades 3 through 5 will have tutorials to support in grade level standards based on middle of the year math data and through assessments that we are monitoring. So with this plan, we are confident that we will continue to build our growth and see even stronger student achievement moving forward. At this time, I'm going to introduce Cameron Wilder from Lagway Elementary.
Good evening to you all. So Lagway is proud to celebrate earning an overall A rating with strong performance across reading, math, and science. We're also showing significant longitudinal data and growth since opening in 2021. demonstrating that students are making meaningful year-to-year progress. In addition, we're successfully closing the gaps, ensuring that diverse learners are meeting grade level expectations. Some of our focus areas, we are proud of the progress that our students are making in science, growing from a 68% to an 80%, but while this is a big step forward, our next goal is to keep climbing and move closer to 90% proficiency. While many of our students receiving House Bill 1416 accelerated instruction are showing progress, our goal is to ensure even more of them make the necessary growth to reach approaches or meets grade level expectations on STAR. We're committed to strengthening support systems, monitoring that progress closely, and partnering with families to help these students continue moving forward. With the successful implementation of our new high-quality curriculum, our goal is to maintain our A rating while continuing to raise student achievement. By aligning this instruction to rigorous standards and equipping teachers with strong resources, we're ensuring that every student has the tools to succeed and that our campus continues to thrive. At the same time, we're committed to fostering a positive school culture, one that values relationships, celebrates growth, and never loses sight of the fact that while we are teaching curriculum, we are first and foremost teaching kids. Our plan of action, we are going to continue STEM Scopes. That's going to serve as our core science program, offering hands-on investigations, digital resources, and scaffold supports aligned to the 5E model and state standards. To strengthen instructional planning and alignment, 5th grade science teachers will meet twice each week, one of those meetings dedicated to working with a district instructional coach. This focused collaboration will support lesson internalization, ensure rigor, and target those key skills in science and engineering. Our strategy to support House Bill 1416 students centers on targeted small group instruction, IXL integration, parent involvement, and student motivation. Students are going to receive accelerated instruction in small groups, with progress monitored through ongoing MOU and EOU assessments. And then also IXL is going to be used as a supplemental tool, providing personalized practice aligned to individual needs and tracked through analytics. Families will be kept informed of the growth and the given strategies, including that IXL access, to support learning at home even. To build persistence and confidence in students, we're going to set goals and celebrate those milestones with recognition systems such as a growth chart, shout-outs, and other incentives. And to ensure strong instruction, 100% of our teachers are going to use the unit and lesson internalization protocols at least once per week during planning, while 100% of our students are going to engage daily with grade level content with the HQIMs and practice embedded routines and strategies. Instructional coaches will also internalize lessons to better support teachers in preparing materials, identifying that essential information and misconceptions, and managing instructional time effectively. Thank you. And at this time, I am introducing Ms. Tamara Good from Metter Elementary.
Thank you and good evening, Board, President Hogemeyer and Dr. Kimberly James and Ms. DeLosa. I'm Tamara Good, Principal over at Metter Elementary. Good evening. I'd love to share with you all some of our celebrations and plans of actions for this year. All right, just had some just key data points from our snapshot from the year. Our 3rd grade reading for approaches was a big success for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. 86% of our students for 3rd grade approach, 91% 4th grade, and then 82% 5th grade. Our goal is in alignment with our district with the 30, 60, 90. Our 4th graders, we celebrated them. They were so targeted and focused, and we were able to get them to reach that goal there. For meets for our 3rd grade, we had 59, 4th grade 69%, and then 5th grade 61%. So as you can see there, we're right in line with where we're supposed to be for 30, 60, 90. Our masters is a focus. As you can see, we're at 25% across the board with reading, and then 28% in science, in 5th grade. For math, same kind of a similar story, 80%, 88, and then 80 for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. For meets 4th grade, 63%. Our 4th grade team is working very hard for our kids for the successes there. Our science, we did not reach our goal there, and we'll talk about that with the plan of action, but we did improve from the year before for our science for 5th grade. So our goals for this year, our goal is still in alignment with what we're seeing for our district, and that is that 100% of Metter Elementary teachers in kinder through 5th grade will implement the HQIM materials. We're going to use those research-based instructional strategies, support that rigorous instruction in the classroom. If I can kind of encapsulate our year, and if there was one word to describe Meta this year, that is focused. We are laser focused. Our daily administrative walkthroughs with myself and my assistant principal and our coaches to ensure fidelity in instruction, those collaborative team meetings with our instructional coaches, and then of course our walkthrough coaching feedback cycle form with the Get Better Faster and our district alignment form. I think something that's very neat, I think Ms. Ballou mentioned it and a couple of our principals, is the instructional materials. There is no pushback. They love it. They are embracing it, and they are so excited about using it. So, phew, easy thing. We're just excited about what we're implementing this year. Our goal too is students will reach high academic standards in the reading of language arts, math, and science. Our goals of 90 approaches, 68 meets, and then 30% masters. We have a targeted instructional focus even as at the start of this year as we began to take on the new curriculum, and we looked at our goals and we looked at where we were and where we want to be. We made the decision to just totally departmentalize 2nd through 5th grade, and that gives our teachers that opportunity to be laser focused. So we're ensuring effective implementation of the curriculum with math, science, and reading to focus. Another goal for us is that data protocol. I know Lynn Lucas mentioned that as well, but our data protocol meetings after every end of unit exam to look at those kids, to look at those areas and those student expectations that are low or that place where we need to reteach or remediate so that we can master the TEAG. All right. Areas of improvement and also that focus, domain 2 with reading, math, and science. We're in 50s and 60s, but we want the A at Metter. Y'all know that. We want the A, and it has to go even beyond where we are with the 60s for the meet, and that is our focus. That's our target. Our HQIM, the materials that we're using are very rigorous. We mentioned that earlier. And just from day one, our students are starting at a higher level of rigor, which will assist us to get to that point of where we want to be by the end of this year. We talked about data protocols. I have no idea where I'm on this time. I'm so sorry. Let's continue on. All right. Data protocol meetings, we mentioned that for our 3rd through 5th grade and also for our K-1-2. Those reteach remediation groups is things we already do at Metter. These are things we do, we know, with our HB 14-16, with students who need that extra support. We do it on a daily basis through our intervention time. Really quick, we have our HB 14 tutorial groups that start Monday to pull those students in to get that growth and that extra push for them. And then finally, also, our attendance, we ended the year at 96.05. We've reached that goal for the district. Our goal now is what's next. So we're going to that next step. We've met as an attendance committee already to put some new incentives. And then finally, as you know, Metter, we are an open book. We are about parent engagement. Our doors are always open, Wednesdays and Fridays. It's Parent Day, and they are a part of our child's and your child's education. So without further ado, I'm excited to introduce Ms. Allie Wilkins, Parmley Elementary.
Good evening, board members, President Hagemeyer, Dr. James, Ms. DeLosa. I'm Allie Wilkins. I'm the principal at Parmley Elementary, and I am so excited to share with you some of the highlights from our campus improvement plan that we have this year. So Parmley has started with strong momentum to build on this year. We have successfully exited our campus improvement status. We have earned a scale score of an 82 in domain 2B, which is relative performance in our accountability. Our 5th grade science this year, we saw an increase of 27% of our students hitting meets in science. So super incredibly proud of them. Our 3rd grade reading and math exceeded our district goals with over 60% meets and 30% masters in 3rd grade. Some of our areas of improvement that we will focus on this year. We are going to ensure that every student is going to learn at high levels. We've got to get really super targeted on what each individual student needs and what they need to do to improve. So we'll be tightening up the progress monitoring, setting individual goals, and providing targeted supports for each student. Just like everybody else, we are going to ensure that we are fully implementing our high-quality instructional materials for our students. How are we going to get there? We are going to be intentional with individual student data, using it to guide interventions, enrichments, and our classroom instruction. We're going to build our teacher capacity through collaborative planning, lesson internalization, and meaningful coaching with the observation feedback cycle. I'm really excited to introduce our PD Your Way sessions this year for our teachers, where teachers can choose monthly sessions aligned to our campus goals, and they can even present all the amazing things they're doing in our classrooms. We've also made sure we are strategically placing our teachers where the best fit is, and we are going to continue with our tutoring opportunities for our students this year. Looking ahead, we're going to monitor progress closely through data checks, classroom look-fors, and ongoing feedback cycles to ensure we respond to students' need in real time. Our goal is very simple. Every student at Parmalee will learn at high levels. Thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hall from Turner.
Thank you. Sorry. That's okay, that's what students call me, Miss Dr. Hall. All right, good evening. I'm Michelle Hall, the principal at Turner Elementary, and here to talk with you about our campus and our plans for this year. So obviously our biggest celebration is going from a D accountability rating to an A in 3 years. That took a lot of hard work, and I will also tell you that we met or exceeded every single state target for every single student group. A couple of those student groups we blew completely out of the water, that state target, even the long-term target. So really proud of the work that we did. What I've done here is combined our ESF, our Essential Schools Framework Diagnostic done by Region 6, and our TAPER report, and boiled it down because I was asked to be very succinct, so I will do that. So our strengths here are culture. It's very well known that Turner has a positive culture. Teachers come there to stay. They leave us when they retire or they move up to the district level. We've become pretty good at growing low achieving and EB students. That was very evident in our accountability ratings. As you know, 70% of that accountability comes either from growth or achievement. 70% of our accountability came from growth. That's something I'm really proud of, considering that we have the vast majority of our students who live at or below the poverty level. They are economically disadvantaged, and they already have the odds stacked against them. So we grew them at a remarkable rate, getting us that A rating. And then our systems and processes. I really firmly believe that when we think through all of the little things for teachers and staff, that allows them to focus on the big thing, which is high quality instruction. So systems and processes are really important to us. Things run very smoothly, like a well-oiled machine at our campus, and that's all very purposeful. Our areas of growth. Number one, HQIM, high quality instructional materials. Just like everybody else, we're implementing those, really digging in each and every planning meeting to make sure that teachers are very familiar with what they'll be doing with students to deliver that instruction. And then secondly, continuing those high engagement strategies that we have seen bring that growth for us in the past 3 years. We want to implement HQIM with fidelity, but weave in those engagement strategies and not leave behind what's been incredibly successful for us in the past. Our goal, I was told to give 2 goals, and this was supposed to be like a reveal 1 and then reveal 2, but I didn't put that in until after this was uploaded. So, reveal 1, 30, 60, 90, which obviously aligns with our district plan. And then goal 2 is also 30, 60, 90, because we must stay almost singularly focused on that goal. I could talk about all kinds of performance objectives and strategies and parent engagement and all the great things that we do at Turner, but you can see that on our social media. All of those things are going to lead to this, which gets us the results that I know you expect of us and our community expects of us, which is student achievement. So that's our goal. And then our progress monitoring. That 30, 60, 90 goal is going to be the measuring stick by which we measure the results of every end of unit and middle of unit assessment so that we can respond and adjust and intervene appropriately. All right, my time is up. And next I will introduce to you Ms. Calandra Lewis.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, I really want to stand up here and say good night, board members.
It is way past my bedtime. But anyway, it is great to be here tonight once again. Glad to see everyone here. Of course, we don't have the big state adoption of the HQIM materials this year. So our curriculum is Scholastic Pre-K on My Way, and it is what we have been using for 5 years now. This is our 4th year in our new building, so this is our 5th year to be using Scholastic Pre-K on My Way. And so I'm going to celebrate our Circle Progress Monitoring, which comes from CLI Engage. Our Circle Progress Monitoring scores and Circle Progress Monitoring, Circle PM we call it, is state mandated by TEA. And so early literacy, and of course this is our students who are now kindergartners. I've been hearing great things, so that's good about all of our kindergartners in the district, our students that have moved on to kindergarten. But you know, like a box of chocolates, we never know what we're gonna get. We get a new crop every year. So in English, the past school year for 24-25, our 80s are shown up here in early literacy, English, rapid letter naming, 89%, early writing, 82. You can see Spanish, 86, rapid letter naming, early writing, 86. So in the 80s there, doing pretty good with rapid letter naming and early writing. Early numeracy, English, doing very well in that with the 80s, and rote counting, shape naming, number discrimination, number naming, counting sets, and Spanish, 93% number discrimination, number naming, and counting sets. And areas of needed improvement. So in early literacy in English and Spanish, it's rapid vocabulary and phonological awareness. So our rapid vocabulary, we use the vocabulary from Scholastic Pre-K on My Way, which is our curriculum. Well, we're going to be extending that this year. We are doing some new things that we are really excited about, and I'll talk about those in a few minutes. And of course, phonological awareness is at 75%. We like to see that higher, even though it doesn't have to be mastered until they're in 1st grade. And then early numeracy, of course, is operations, and that's something we wait to do at the end of the year. But this year we are doing it, like we've already started it, when it's story time. In their centers, we're having those conversations. And in Spanish, rote counting and shape naming. And so our plan of action is the active explorative play, which is providing opportunities for role play, building, and science exploration with teacher language support. So, as I was talking about building that vocabulary is being built through an alignment that is our pre-K guidelines through kinder through 2nd grade science and social studies TEKS. And nursery rhymes, studies show that 8 nursery rhymes memorized, if students memorize 8 nursery rhymes by the age of 5, it's a predictor for strong reading skills in the later years. So we are so excited about that. And then of course, data-driven instruction, purposeful student grouping, and standards-based centers. So we are so excited, and we look forward to moving forward in our learning adventures in pre-K.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our campus's presentation this evening. We're very proud of their growth, and we're even looking more forward to their success in the future. At this time, we are asking you to consider and approve our campus and district improvement plans.
Yes, I move we accept the superintendent's recommendation and approve the district and campus improvement plan as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Jones, second by Coach Perry. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Item B, discuss, consider approval not to exceed $64 million.
Okay. That works. Okay, well, yes, sir. Good evening again. Tonight we are asking the board's approval for a bond refunding order. The district is looking to take advantage of better market rates to refund bonds previously issued and refund those at lower rates. We're specifically targeting bonds from the 2015 to 2017 series. What this bond order does is set parameters. We are not extending any debt beyond the current maturities. We are not adding additional debt. We are simply refunding debt, trying to take advantage of lower interest rates. And what it does is set the parameter of that is $64.025 million. As of this last Monday, about $30 million of that made financial sense to refund. However, we are currently actively watching the market, hoping to get some news here in the next few weeks that rates potentially be cut again. So what we are hoping to do is beyond the $30 million. So as of right now, that $30 million would net a result of about $1.6 million in interest savings. So that reduces our interest, our future interest payments. That reduces our ultimate debt, or increases our ultimate debt capacity and reduces our debt on our books. If the rates do drop, we can take advantage of this order. We can issue more refunding orders or refund more in October, or we even have a little bit of leniency with this order to a year. If rates were to drop at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, we can refund additional to take advantage of additional savings. Be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Carson.
Move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation and approve the Board of Trustees adopt the order authorizing the issuance of Willis Independent School District aluminum tax refunding bonds as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Clarkson, a second by Ms. Traylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Number 3% on it.
Motion carries
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you, Gary.
Item 10, board member comments.
I got one. Thank all of y'all very much. Principals, staff, Ms. Ballou, all of y'all, how hard y'all are working. It's such an awesome thing to sit back and watch us moving in the right direction. And we appreciate how hard you're working, because we see it, and it's fun to watch, because it's gonna be exciting here this year. Thank y'all very much, all of y'all.
What word? Thank you. We really appreciate y'all. Yeah, exactly. I want to reiterate what Chad said. Yeah, we're moving in the right direction. Seeing where we came, where we were, and where we're going is very exciting. So I'm really excited about the future this year and the future. One more thing I want to add too. We want to, on behalf of the school board, we want to wish Dr. James a happy birthday this Saturday. So.
Let's have a little more fun with that, everybody.
Yeah, let's wish him.
Let's have a little more fun, team. Y'all ready? Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. James. Happy birthday to you. Yeah! That is one purpose right there, baby.
Item 11, superintendent comments.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all. I didn't realize how wonderfully talented this group was in singing. So thank you. I do want to echo what the board said. The presentations were outstanding. Just a huge difference between last year and this year. And I think we all understand, the setting goals. I think we were doing it, but now how we communicate it. Right, how we communicate it. And I'm looking forward to the measuring of it, being on your campuses just in the last 4 weeks. I'm so proud of what I'm seeing. I know that we're gonna make great strides, so I just wanna say thank you. And I will say, we wouldn't be able to do this without this supportive board. I mean, they are so 100% behind y'all. And I say that sincerely, thank you. So I think we're gonna do a fabulous job. I just wanna remind everybody that we have a public meeting, with the first financial rating at 5 on October the 8th, and our regular meeting will be at 5:30. So that's all I have to say.
Mr. Williams.
Make a motion to go home.
We have a motion by Mr. Williams, a second by Ms. Traylor. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. We are adjourned. It is 8:55 p.m.